Welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. My name's John.
And I'm Sarah.
And we thank you for stopping by on this Monday evening.
That's right.
So did you have a good weekend, Sarah?
I did. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Busy.
Friday night was tiring.
That's right. That's right.
Because we broadcast hours and hours of football from Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm. It's Bret Hart versus Amador.
And they won.
And they won quite
big.
handily.
Yeah, big.
Quite handily.
And it was like 48-19 was the ending score and stuff like that.
Right. That's right. And you started out broadcasting the JV. And
yeah,
then went
part
on
of the
to
JV.
the high school and pushed out on Comcast Channel 7.
Channel 7 and also on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my pictures of
Where
that.
are your pictures?
I know.
You just have the photographs.
I know.
Don't look at the back of the screen until we're ready.
We know. Yeah.
Yes.
So
until we're ready.
All right.
So,
well, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to the game.
But yeah, they won handily.
Mm-hmm.
So it now is the build-up for the big game.
The big
Friday
game.
night from Calaveras will be the big game. We will be broadcasting live, starting with JV there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also trying to get Channel 3 out as well.
Are they?
KCRA.
Wow. Bless you.
Sorry. So they're trying to get KCRA. So at the top
I
of
think
that
our
booth,
viewers are going, oh my gosh,
Yes.
that was the loudest sneeze ever.
I'm sorry. On the top of the booth, they'll be just...
Bless you. Early. So you'll be up there broadcasting with the big boys.
Yes, well, they'll be elbowing each other out of the way on
right.
the top of that
That's
booth.
right.
Yeah,
You'll be off to the side going, okay, I don't want to fall.
Poor Joe. I'm going to be up there with our little camera compared
well,
to
you know, Joe can play with the big boys because
he can play with the big boys. Yes.
He comes from that business of big boys, so he'll do quite well.
I know, because as some of you may not know, we've mentioned this before, Joe Aquilina is helping us with some of our live broadcast stuff. And Joe is an industry veteran. He was South Bay Bureau guy for Cron Channel 4 during all the 49ers Super Bowl heyday runs. And so he's taken shots at presidents. He's run cameras at Super Bowls and everything else. So you figure...
And now he's working with the pine tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, you know, it's
a progression, though. You know, going to the World Wide Web.
A progression in a different kind of way.
That's right.
Yeah. In a different kind of way. But anyway, so it was fun. So we'll be back on Friday night pushing out more.
That's right.
We will do our best to provide you good coverage on it. So Channel 7 and also here on thepinetree.net.
That's right.
So if you have relatives out of the area that want to check in and see
what's going on, that would be the place to be.
So
also,
the Board of Supervisors aren't loafing tomorrow. They're back in session, right?
They are back in session.
Just kidding.
Yes, we'll let them know you said that. Just kidding.
We know that's not true. They work like crazy.
That's right. They do. And it should be a very interesting board meeting tomorrow. The Ridge at Trinitas is back on the agenda. At discussion is whether or not the golf course will be part of the environmental impact review decision, and they'll talk about that. And also, for those of you who didn't know, that particular development, it's actually a 13-home gated community.
Not large.
Not really large. It's being planned around an existing 18-hole golf course, and the golf course is at question as to whether or not an environmental impact review is actually needed for the golf course as well as the homes. It's a given. That's right.
Yeah, need one of those ers.
That's right. That's right. And also, Saddleback Hills in San Andreas is coming back before the board. 133 home subdivision. In
some estimation that this one's probably going to be somewhat of a rubber stamp because, maybe not, unless they've had because. At the last meeting, they sent it back for a couple weeks, but all 5 supervisors came out in support of it. So unless unless the wheels
catastrophic has happened,
unless the wheels
couple
fell
weeks.
off,
exactly,
which can happen.
That's right.
It's it can happen, but unless the wheels have come off, it should go forward.
It should. And also, I thought this was sort of an interesting little tidbit, actually, and it is from the public health. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. a resolution adjusting the budget for public health department
Sure.
for an addition of $33,500 grant in new youth mentoring funds from the state of California.
Very nice.
So that's nice, and that's for their Friday Night Live partnership and other mentoring
Great.
programs. So that's a very cool little infusion into their budget.
Yeah, that is.
So those are sort of the main things from Board of Supervisors tomorrow. 9 a.m., Government Center.
Now, one of the biggest things we haven't talked about yet is tomorrow is Election Day.
That's right.
So, the biggest item in the county is obviously Measure J, to where we vote on the future of the funding for the new jail.
Exactly, as well as a new sheriff's office and
New law enforcement center in general.
Exactly.
And it should be, and remember, this needs to get 66% supermajority to pass.
Yes.
And also, it's been one of those things where there's a lot of support behind it, but there's some people that just probably won't vote for it. You know,
No.
there's because if you look at because we've had several polls and some comment threads, and for example, like this one we put back up that there's been 31 comments.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's generated
so
some
in total,
discussion.
the different articles we've had on the pinetree.net on it, probably well over 100 comments.
That's right.
If you add them all
That's right.
together, and some of them are.
Some are not actually supportive of the measure.
Yeah, but a lot of them are. But I mean, a lot of them are from, there's some very, and some of these, what I pointed it out, some of these are some very cogent, well-reasoned
Yes.
things on here as well.
Exactly. But we should probably do a short recap. It's for $31 million bond measure. It would be the bond measure. The bond would be paid for by a percentage of about $19 per $100,000 of assessed value. It's essentially a parcel.
So if you live in a
parcel
$50,000 house,
it's $8
$8
a year.
Yeah.
I don't know where you find that in Calaveras County, but you know we'd
Just
all like
kidding,
to know where
yeah.
that is. Also, it's that 31 million. 10 million of that is actually for jail construction to get another 30 million in grant funds from the state. So Calaveras County needs to ante up the 10 million as a match to get the other 30 million. So that's the short recap as to the money, and the other 20 million is for the law enforcement center.
Right.
And it's very modular.
And I
so
think
they
some
can
of the
build onto it in years to come, and the 1 million is for sort of administrative costs and insurance.
And I think one of the takeaways from this is on the crime rate in the county, because there's a lot about recidivism and early release, is a lot of the crimes in the county are now being committed by people who shouldn't even be on the streets.
Exactly, because they're getting rearrested during the time that they should be in jail. But the jail is not in a condition to accept them, so they have an early release, so they end up recommitting crimes when they should be behind bars in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a vicious cycle is what it's become. So that is the major thing on the ballot tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this has been years in the making.
To get to this point.
To get to this point.
It was really, yeah, it was.
That's right.
And also, there was a couple small accidents over the weekend, and one of the people involved we felt really sorry for. And there was I guess we'll just start with. There was on Jesus Maria, looks like we're sun in the eyes or something like that, and there was a head-on or glancing head-on, where there was no real serious injuries, so we're glad about that. You know,
Exactly.
one on Jesus Maria. Then there was the other one over in the Mountain Ranch area. It was really sad. I mean, luckily there was no big injury, but it was
sort of a horrifying thing to happen.
Yes, a 69-year-old Mountain Ranch woman was coming out of her driveway, and the vehicle stalled.
Yes.
And then it was a steep driveway, and she went out of her driveway and off the road and on the other side and hit a barbed wire fence. And I guess she was maybe little disabled or something as well. And the vehicle was as well. She was able to get started, but she spent the night in the car because nobody saw her.
Car.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nobody saw her. So there was feel really sorry. This poor lady, she luckily she's okay with minor injuries.
Her neighbors found her
the next
and the
day.
car the next day.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that can happen. You don't really think about it until you get an accident up here, is that you could actually go over an embankment and nobody would even know you were down there.
In my case, they would look and see who it was, and then still keep walking. So that's the.
Oh, it's just that pine tree.
Yeah,
guy.
and that's the thing where they would throw rocks or dirt, and then
yeah, exactly.
they would try to cover it up and obscure
cover it up,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Put the bushes back together. That's what you have
Nothing
to do.
to see here.
Exactly.
Move along.
Yes.
But we want to say we felt very sorry that she.
But
that happened.
All's well that ends well. She's in a healthy state and she's doing okay. And,
yeah.
You have to be thankful that somebody found her.
Very.
But it's still sort of a frightening thing out there in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just that'll be one of those things that I doubt she will be forgetting anytime soon.
No.
Should we talk rubbish?
Let's talk trash.
And this is a press release from the Public Works Department. And this is on their effective immediately, all Calaveras County residential and commercial recycling centers can mix all recyclable materials in their recycling cans, carts, or totes.
That's right.
Paper, cardboard, aluminium, right?
That's right.
Aluminium.
Depending on what country you live in.
Aluminum and tin cans, glass jars, and bottles. Plastic bottles can be combined for easy and convenient recycling.
That's right. You know why they can do this? They hand sort it when it goes to Milton. We have hand sorters in the county now.
Put it on the conveyor belt.
Let
it roll.
That's right. And apparently, rumor has it that people are having a hard time coming to grips with throwing all the recyclables in the same bin.
Got it.
But anyway, go on, John.
Calaveras County has a goal of recycling 50% of all waste generated in the county, explained by Leslie Daniel, recycling manager for Calaveras County Public Works. People divert more materials when recycling is as easy as convenient as possible. Mixed recycling is the best tool we have to boost our recycling efforts. And this one will probably work because people are lazy by nature.
They are. They are.
See, under this program, I could even recycle.
That's right. One bin for the trash and one bin for the recyclables.
Yeah, well, you don't really have to do anything.
That's right. You just throw them all in the same.
We know that this is a risky thing here, but I have to say it. All right. Now, if you went to the movies over the weekend, as I think it took in almost 50 million, as a lot of you to see American Gangster, the one with Russell Crowe, and now is not to spoil the plot, but this is from a.
Was it about recycling?
Kinda.
Sorta.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Lots of heroin on a big drug dealer, right? And the interesting thing is the people that worked his assembly line, he made them strip into the buff.
Why?
That way they couldn't steal anything.
Oh, okay.
So
are you talking about recycling and the
No, but they're working the assembly
line?
line because they actually brought in the huge vats of heroin, and then they had to weigh it and bag it out into the baggies that they hence sold.
Are you wondering where the connection is? I'm starting. Where is the connection, John?
Well, you think, I was just thinking. You hope that the people they're hiring for the recycling thing that are working the line,
I'm sure
they won't make them.
No, they're fine. They're fully clothed.
And you wouldn't
sure.
want. And if they stole something, I guess it would be okay, right?
Oh, okay. On to the next story.
But it's a great movie. It's a great movie. You got to go see it. But it's really kind of, because basically
you can tell he doesn't get out much.
It's a true story. It's a true story, and basically. There was a dealer in Harlem that almost took the McDonald's method to drugs.
Okay.
He branded a certain heroin brand. It was his brand of heroin. We'll just be quiet. This is going nowhere. But anyway.
But anyway, the upshot of it is that you can mix all your recyclables and throw them
mixed recyclables.
Yes, exactly. Throw them in the mixed recyclable bin at the transfer stations, and you don't have to worry about separating out.
And the people working the line won't be in the buff.
That's right. That's right.
You could recycle in the buff, but that's
We don't want to go
we don't
there.
want to know that
No,
anyway.
we don't
But
wanna
anyway,
know- yeah, we don't want to know that.
sorry, I was just
Okay.
thinking.
And
I've been
tomorrow
walking
morning-
assembly lines, and I was thinking sorting lines,
Yes,
bagging
yes,
lines.
yeah. Okay, Lock
All right.
Antenna wastewater master plan is going to be discussed at CCWD tomorrow, which would be Tuesday, November 6th at 2:30. And they are actually discussing the master plan, the wastewater master plan for that area. So follow-up board discussion regarding golf course irrigation and the Lock Antenna spray field and wetland mitigation proposals and that type of thing. So if you have any interest in this topic, I suggest you go to that meeting at 2:30 at the CCWD meeting room.
And also CCWD related is if you go on the pinetree.net a little farther down and you want to read the draft groundwater study that
That's
we mentioned
right.
Thursday night. See if you want to do that as your pre-meeting prep.
That's right. You can.
It's there.
It's there. And you're going to tell them about the fire?
Okay, today, and this was one of those fires today, and we'll see if we can pull up a slide. I know where these slides are.
Okay.
Here we go. There was a fire today that is contained now that... There we go. This was taken from... And this is taken from a long ways off, so this will... bear with us here. There we go. All right, now this is taken off of Highway 4, down below Angels Camp. The reason you can see it, but you can see the plume. And this is a pretty good sized plume. I know it's hard to see on cable, but this isn't actually, the plume is really rolling pretty good. And this was in Forest Service land about 11 miles southeast of Dorrington area, and also where Boards Crossing was. I guess it's very remote. But it was putting out a lot of smoke. When we called the Forest Service, they said it was 2/3 of an acre, really basically nothing to see here, move along. The closest structure was miles and miles away. They had a helicopter on scene. But this was one of those fires that...
It looks...
Yeah, it was put for a little small fire. It was putting out some smoke.
Yes.
So if you saw that this afternoon, that's what it was. Is contained now. They've already released the helicopter. Probably can keep some hand crews on it to make sure it stays out. But
So that
was
was what
it.
was going
There was
on.
a small fire today. So if you were seeing fire or smelling smoke,
That was it.
that was it.
That was it. Okay.
And also,
What's that?
can we do a little plug here?
Sure.
Here we go. Now, yeah. Now, this is, if you're on the site, we're not going to play all this, but if you're looking at buying an HD TV this year, this is kind of the year.
Yes.
Because everything is, pricing on them is coming down. And we have a conversation with Rob from Middleton's, and he talks to us a little bit about the latest, what you should look for, what is enough, because some of these things now are, say, 1080i, which is probably overkill because for broadcast stuff, the only thing that's going to work on that is actually the Blu-ray HD DVDs. So you'd have to decide
whether you want to go for overkill or not, or
but
what your needs are.
But for standard HD and things like that, I think now is probably the time.
Yeah. So Rob Gianelli
Yes.
over there at Middleton's.
Go in and ask for Rob and tell him I'm here to buy a TV.
Yeah, actually.
Buy local.
Buy local. And they deliver, right?
And they deliver and set up. They won't do the huge, but they'll get it. If you have a spot, they're not going to remodel your house gratis, but
No.
but they will get you up and running, show you how to use everything, and get you all set up.
Okay.
Anything exciting over there?
The local news. Actually, I just wanted to read a few of the state headlines.
By all means.
Okay.
Read away.
Okay. I have to scroll down to them.
Hey,
What's that?
there was one thing on where Dave Cox came out against Governor Schwarzenegger's health plan. What did the Republicans introduce a bunch of other an alternative health care plan?
They did, and a lot of it was very similar to what the Democrats came out with.
Okay.
But a lot of it had to do with funding movement, rather than shifting funding from existing programs to fund other aspects of the healthcare. That's my understanding.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of the Democrats, their healthcare bill was actually new funding.
Aha.
See,
so this one didn't create no new taxes, but equalized.
Yeah, sort of moved things around.
type
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly
huh?
what they
All
did.
right.
So I'm trying to find this. The immigration debate. Actually, I'm only going to read two of them. Immigration debate. This is from the San Jose Mercury. 70% of Mexicans in California are U.S. citizens. For the first time in the most current wave of immigration, U.S. Census Bureau figures show that 70% of California's Mexican population are U.S. citizens, blunting widespread belief that the state is overrun by illegal immigrants. The findings are part of new data that casts a spotlight on a steady demographic transition between 2000 and 2006, with the state leading the nation in the number of Mexican immigrants gaining citizenship. So you have 70%, which is actually quite a high number. And this one actually shocked me when I read it. It's from the San Francisco Chronicle. Meteor and Ross, feds go after wildly successful medical pot sellers. They're just a couple of nice kids from Berkeley who wound up being the victims of their own success. That's how a lawyer and longtime friend Harold Rosenthal summed up the case against his clients, Winslow and Abraham Norton. The brothers charged last week with moving an estimated $49 million worth of pot through their marijuana dispensary just outside Hayward over the past 3 years.
That's not a bad storefront.
That is not.
That's not a bad
That's a
storefront.
huge amount.
Now, the place in San Andreas doesn't.
I'm thinking not.
You don't think not, yeah.
Well, they're not a
Yeah,
dispensary. They're just
a.
Of course, there was talk at one time that a dispensary was going to go in next door to them, but that fell to the wayside.
Oil spiked above 100.
Wow.
Or growing expectation of oil spike above 100. I guess it hasn't quite spiked there yet, but it looks like the next day or so, there's expectations that it will.
It's going to go up.
And also, the top of the couple of nationals, 80% of adults now use the internet.
Which is very cool.
Very nice.
Yes.
So, and also, for November sweeps, you're going to get reruns.
Yes. Writer's strike is
which means that
down.
this should help our ratings because
you'll watch
a lot of the shows require writers, and obviously you can tell from watching us is we don't hire a writer. We don't hire writers. Yeah, so
especially not a union writer.
Yes, so you can get your quality nightly news broadcast
from us.
Yeah, whereas we're not going to have to let go our writing staff because
we don't have
they
a
don't
writing
exist.
Staff. That's right.
Right?
That's right. So that just fell apart, actually. First time in 20 years, apparently, the writers have gone on strike.
And also I thought it was kind of interesting is how the world is changing. Is the world's biggest or most valuable company now is now not ExxonMobil, it's PetroChina. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this is an interesting this is a very interesting thing to where as the Chinese economy moves into the mainstream, it's a really it's a kind of an interesting
force to be
thing.
reckoned
Yeah.
with.
And you figure, and also in PetroChina, Berkshire Hathaway had a huge stake that they just sold. So even Warren Buffett over this last year had a lot of funds parked in PetroChina. China is the first to reach $1 trillion market cap.
Wow.
1,000 billions.
1,000 billions.
Billions and billions and billions. Anyway,
Billions
all right.
and billions.
Guess we better go to weather at some point.
Well, I wanted to just
Brittany,
talk about Brittany. Now, this is very interesting for those of you who are naysayers about Britney Spears' career being dead. Her new Blackout album released last week at #1. It's already sold between 325,000 and 350,000 copies, and she has done no press for this at all.
And we've heard some people who would not normally be Britney fans at all to say it's actually really good.
I've heard that it's very good.
So
she must have been doing more than just having custody battles and all that stuff. So obviously she still
that's actually kind of a good thing.
It is. It is.
It
There's
shows
a little bright spark there that she still is able to pull it together. So it's a good thing. Weather. We've got weather.
All right. Arnold, a low of 50 degrees tonight. High a sunny 74 tomorrow, a sunny 73 on Wednesday, and a starting to tail off 67 on Thursday, and partly cloudy Thursday night, and slight chance of rain Friday and Friday night.
Okay. Murphy's weather. Tuesday sunny with a high of 84 degrees, so it's going to get warmer. Wednesday sunny at 83, and Thursday 79 degrees. And I will just check out over here, and slight chance of rain again. But it'll be a warm rain, 70 degrees on Friday.
Bear Valley, similar as Arnold, only about 10 degrees cooler, but it doesn't, even on Friday and Saturday night where they look at the chance of precipitation, no snow.
Storm.
Warm storm. So this is just another little warm bit
front.
through.
Exactly. Angels Camp, Tuesday sunny with a high of 76. Wednesday sunny with a high of 75, and Thursday sunny with a high of 71.
For our viewer in Bangor, Maine, 50 degrees tonight. Today was the high, 31 the low. 48 degrees with 32 tomorrow with a little bit of rain.
It's chilly
48
back there.
and 27, and on Thursday, 44 and 23.
Boy, that is really cold.
Yeah, I think
the
latitudes are starting to take effect.
Copperopolis, Tuesday 77 degrees sunny, Wednesday 76 degrees sunny, and Thursday 73 degrees sunny. It's very sunny.
And going on last little bit of international news. If you haven't been following it, Pakistan is a mess.
It's a mess.
And this one is very scary because we have to walk a fine line because you don't want another bully dictator. Musharraf is looking like he's tending to becoming that.
Yes.
But on the other hand, boy, you don't want to have the rise of Islamic fundamentalists, because you think of Pakistan. If the fundamentalists gain control of Pakistan, it's a nuclear country.
Yes,
they have the bomb.
They do.
So there's the odd little weird wrinkle that.
Yes. So we have to just keep that in mind. Although we are quite set here, it's not like that in the rest of the world. But we didn't do Valley Springs weather.
We didn't mean to slight Valley Springs. I'm sorry.
Tuesday 77 degrees sunny, Wednesday 76 degrees sunny, and Thursday 74 degrees sunny. And
Thank you very much.
Are we signing out?
We're out.
Oh, we're out.
Have a great night. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.